The COVID-19 crisis calls for action and solidarity from all sectors of society. Today, we are talking to two millennials who are finding innovative ways of responding to the challenges our nation faces during the pandemic. I'm Nicole Corrado, and this is Meet the Millennials. We are still physically distancing, but of course it's important to still keep the conversation going. So today, joining us is Mayor of Alaminos, Pangasinan, Bryan Celeste. Welcome, Mayor!
Hello, Miss Nicole. How are you?
Well, technically, hindi ka na millennial. You're part of Gen Z already, but I think we still have a lot to learn from you. And one of the reasons why we're very excited to welcome you in the program is because you've been getting a lot of attention with your hands-on approach in the distribution of relief packs to your constituents. And I think the best example of this is the viral Facebook post of you in the picture, carrying, I think, a 25-kilogram sack of rice. You've been getting a lot of admiration for this. Tell us the story behind the picture.
Well, that was the very first day of our relief operations. And I started as a barangay captain. So, doon ko po nakuha yung pagka-hands-on ko in tackling the crisis that we have right now.
Of course, some criticism would be, baka photo op lang yan. How does that help in relief operations? So tell us about the logic behind your governance style of being really hands-on.
Well, that wasn't really for photo op naman din talaga. Kasi it was the very first relief operation. So yung tao namin, hindi siya ganun kadami. The operation needed some extra helping hand. So para mas madali yung operation po namin is tumulong na rin ako. Kasi why would I exempt myself from helping other people in lalong-lalo na sa relief operations na ito?
Right. And I think one of the innovations that's also getting a lot of attention is how you collaborated with the farmers to buy their goods for you to directly give it to your constituents. Why is this an important innovation?
Well, it's like hitting two birds with one stone. You're helping the agricultural sector of the city, and at the same time, you're giving these people na sanay na ang relief goods nila is canned goods. So why not, at the same time, you give them something nutritious?
And of course, social media is very important, especially for millennial Gen Z mayors that we've been talking to. So how has this platform helped you govern Alaminos?
It became a feedback mechanism in our style of government. So we post stuff in Facebook, tapos yung mga tao, we see their comments, and then we base our decisions from their comments. So actually doon nangyari yung fast yung response namin sa relief operations. Kasi when the crisis was booming, they were asking for relief ops kagad. So as the city mayor of Alaminos, hinanda ko kagad na kailangan mabigyan kagad yung mga relief ang ating mga kababayan dahil ang clamor nga nila is wala na kaming pagkain kasi lahat ng aming negosyo, everything stopped in Alaminos. So everyone was affected. So what we did, using social media, nalaman namin yung clamor ng tao, yung kanilang gustong mangyari. So we reacted to what they wanted to happen.
And of course, governance is not just about you as the leader. Governance is also about your constituents. So Mayor, based on your observations, how are the people of Alaminos also helping out in responding to the crisis?
Well, it's pretty... what I love about Alaminians is that they're very proactive. You could see them, they really want to volunteer. And at the same time, yung overwhelming support ng mga tao dito, ang dami pong nagdo-donate, ang dami pong nagdo-donate ng pagkain, and then goods, bigas sa ating mga kababayan and sa mga frontliners.
Well, Mayor, we know you're very busy, so thank you very much for joining us. Final thoughts?
Well, hopefully itong crisis na ito ay kakayanin po natin ito, and at the same time, wag po natin kakalimutan na the very important thing that we need right now is cooperation with the local government units and of course the national, and it's discipline. amongst ourselves. So I hope that our fellow kababayans in our country would be disciplined enough to stay at home, because right now it is very easy to be a hero. Sabi nga nila, you just have to stay at home and you're already a hero, for not just for your country but for your family, who deserves to have a better and healthy life.
Well, thank you, Mayor Celeste, for spending time with us.
Thank you, Miss Nicole. Take care.
When we return, we're going to talk to a tech trailblazer who's helping us make sense of COVID-19 data. You're watching Meet the Millennials. Stay tuned. You're still watching Meet the Millennials. Earlier, we talked to a leader in local government, and now we're talking to a leader in tech. So joining the program is the CEO and data scientist of Thinking Machines, Stephanie C. Steph has been working with DOH on the COVID-19 Tracker. Steph, welcome to the program.
Hi, Nicole. Pleasure to be here.
Right, so let's talk about this project with DOH, COVID-19 Tracker. What is this about?
Right. So I run Thinking Machines, and we're a data science and artificial intelligence company. We build tools so organizations can make better decisions using their data. And when the COVID situation and ECQ rolled out, we were already working with the Department of Health on another project involving health metrics. And so when this happened, we were able to jump in really quickly and ask, how can we help you with your decision making? So together with the Philinvest Corporate City Foundation, we've been working to deliver the COVID-19 Tracker of the Department of Health. It is the public-facing dashboard and public data sets that tell everybody how the DOH is doing and how our health systems are doing when it comes to testing, PPE availability. It is a way to be transparent and direct with the public. So it is a set of dashboards available on the DOH website that citizen analysts and journalists and scientists can use to just be abreast of the situation.
So can you explain to us how ordinary Filipinos can meaningfully engage with the data that we see on the COVID tracker, and how we can be critical with the kind of data that we also receive from government?
Right. So data in itself, I'm a data scientist, and I think that data for data's sake is pointless. Why do you want data? You want data because it helps you make better decisions. And everybody needs to make decisions every day now about themselves, their workplaces, their careers, their families, their safety. If you're a millennial, right, and you're thinking about your career in the next 12 months, in the next 24 months, this data can help you get a gauge on should you invest in your digital skill sets. You know, if you're somebody who works primarily face-to-face with people, do you need to start retooling your skills? Do you need to start thinking about a new career? Or can you wait this out? That's the kind of decision you can make for yourself using this data. And then thinking about our communities and thinking about our government. This data will help you understand if you can help your nearby hospitals. If you look at this dashboard, one thing it does track is the availability of PPE and the availability of beds and ventilator units in hospitals all over the Philippines. And then when it comes to the government side, well, if you're able to monitor and keep our government at the local level, at the national level, accountable for what they're doing, that's also part of what being a citizen is about.
Right. And without going into kind of silver linings thinking, but as a data scientist, how do you envision data to power governance in the Philippines? If it were up to data scientists, for example, and we ask you, what kind of data do we need to make better decisions? How can we improve the delivery of information for governance? What suggestions would you have?
Wow. I think that a lot of people in good governance and technology have been working to digitize the government for the last few years. With better digital systems, you don't need to show up in person to get your to file an application for your birth certificate, for example. And now that it's dangerous for us to meet in person, further digitization it's really going to help the experience of the everyday of like people. And if you have digitized systems, you're going to have better data. So the government can know what services people need from it. How is it doing? If you don't measure how you're doing, your performance, you're never going to get a clear idea if you're doing well or not. And if you don't know if you're doing well or badly, you can't improve.
Right. And of course, this is an integral part of running a democracy, right? We can only make good decisions if they're based on proper scientific evidence. Steph, I'm so sorry. Time is not on our side. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Please remember that the models that people are using to estimate number of cases and number of deaths, they're not truly predictions in the fortune-telling sense. They are what-if scenarios. So the numbers will change on a day-to-day basis because we are acting to change those outcomes, right? So the most conservative model where we don't do anything says that 500,000 people in the Philippines are going to catch COVID and die. That is not a prediction of the future. That is a what-if scenario if we don't do anything. But if everything that we do makes that number go down, and so you should look at the models every day, not as forecasts, but as a reflection of our actions. How are they changing the potential outcomes for our public health crisis?
Right. Thank you, Steph. I think the message here is a lot of us still have to adjust to this situation to better understand how data can work for us and also learn how to appreciate data. So thank you for spending time with us, Steph.
Thanks, Nicole.
And thank you as well for watching Meet the Millennials. I'm Nicole Carato. See you next time.